नाउ लेट अस टेस्ट अवरसेल्व्स। हम लोग जो बोल रहे हैं कि जो भी हम पढ़ाई कर रहे हैं तो MCQs में इसका फ़ायदा हो सकता है और क्वेश्चंस आ सकते हैं। सो लेट अस जस्ट इमेजिनेशन है, ज़रूरी नहीं कि ऐसे क्वेश्चंस आएंगे। लेट अस टेक वन एग्जांपल। फॉर्म 4B with details of serious fatal accident should be submitted within dash of the occurrence। अच्छा, फॉर्म 4B with details of serious fatal accident should be submitted within, ओके तो 24 hours, 3 days, 7 days, 15 days, 21 days। ओके 24 आवर्स बोलेंगे तो फॉर्म 4A आपको देना है। 3 days तो बोलेंगे तो ये तो दिस इज रिलेटेड टू नोटिस ऑफ डिसीज। 7 days जमता है फॉर्म 4B, अलग रख लेते हैं। 15 days फॉर्म 4C का है, अलग रख ले। 21 तो कहीं है नहीं, सो 7 days वी विल ऑप्ट 7 days। लेट अस टेक वन मोर एग्जांपल। व्हेन द इंज्यूर्ड पर्सन रिटर्न्स टू ड्यूटी, पर्टिकुलर्स आर रिक्वायर्ड टू बी फर्निश्ड विद इन डैश डेज इन फॉर्म डैश। 7 days in form C, okay, 15 days in form C, 7 days in form 4C, 15 days in form 4C, at the earliest in form 4C. So we know the option will be 15 days in form 4C. So you should be very confident about the answer you are going to opt. There should not be any scope for confusion. Then minimum age for appointing a person as a competent person, you know that 20 years of age should be there. And by definition, a MDO, mine developer cum operator, is a owner, deemed owner, contractor, agent or deemed agent. By definition, MDO is a, what he is? Is he a contractor, owner, deemed owner, agent or deemed agent? So for a MDA we will say he is a owner by definition. Then who amongst these cannot be a contractor? If a question comes, who amongst these cannot be a contractor? Research or technical institution, can they be a contractor? Blaster, can he be a contractor? Explosive supplier, can he be a contractor? Original equipment contractor, none of these can be contractor. Research technical institution तो contractor रह सकता है, एक्सप्लोजिव सप्लायर भी कॉन्ट्रैक्टर रह सकता है, ओरिजिनल इक्विपमेंट मैन्युफैक्चरर भी कॉन्ट्रैक्टर रह सकता है, लेकिन ब्लास्टर जो है वो कॉन्ट्रैक्टर नहीं रह सकता है। सो दिस वे वी शुड बी सो कॉन्फिडेंट बिकॉज यू सी इन 180 minutes you are required to answer 150 questions. So these questions you should be, the answer should be at the tip of your tongue. So these were some of the examples which we can expect a questions on. In the last video lecture, we studied the regulation up to regulation number 10. Now you know that the chapter number 3 is regarding examination and competency certificates. The provisions given therein, they are from the regulation number 11 up to the regulation number 31. So now we shall continue the study of the regulations with chapter number 4, which is regarding inspectors and mine officials. So we shall now continue the regulation with the provisions related to appointment and qualification of mine manager. Regulation 34, which reads qualification and appointment of managers. Now under this regulation, the provisions that have been given, we can very simply try to understand the provisions as such. If there are more than 400 persons in any mine, then a first class manager will be required. And in a mine where the average employment is not more than 400 but is certainly more than 150, then a first class or second class manager will do. We know how average employment is calculated. It is obtained by dividing the number of man days worked by the number of working days excluding rest days and other non-working days. So this way, more than 400, so it will be first class manager, 150 to 400 first or second class manager, and in any other case it will be either a first class manager, second class manager or a manager's permit. You know that at times the DGMS is giving a manager's permit to a foreman certificate holder also. So that provision is there. But if you are working the mine with a system of deep hole blasting with the help of heavy machinery for digging, excavation, removal, etc., then you must have a first class manager certificate. Now here a circular, or rather we can say an instruction was issued previously. That instruction is instruction number 2 of 2011. We know that DGMS has time and again been circulating the circulars, and some circulars the name is given or the number is given as circular technical. In other cases it is circular exam, at times it is circular legal, at times it is circular approval, and at times it is instruction. Now these instructions, these are for the inspecting authority. So some similar instruction was issued number 02 of 2011, wherein relaxation was granted under regulation 34(6). We know that in the regulation 34(6) they have mentioned that chief inspector may otherwise permit than the above scale, etc., etc. So those powers are vested with the chief inspector. So using those powers, a circular was issued. We will look into this circular, what it reads. Now this circular reads, which is on your screen: drilling diameter in millimeter. If the drilling diameter is not more than 100 mm, then a second class manager's certificate holder will be permitted, and if there is no defole blasting, so you know that defole are considered when the depth of the holes is more than 3 meters. So in that case, either a degree holder or a diploma holder or a foreman certificate holder can also become the manager of that mine, subject to the aggregate HP for these degree, diploma and foreman certificate holder. The aggregate HP should not exceed 500 and the excavator HP should not exceed 200. These are the conditions for degree holder, diploma holder or foreman certificate holder. Whereas in case of second class, it is only the diameter criteria of 100 mm. And average employment should in all should not be more than 100, and amount of explosives used in a day in kg, it should not be more than 500. These are the conditions when you can appoint a second class certificate holder as a mine manager for that mine. But if you are not appointing a second class manager, but you are appointing a degree holder or diploma holder or a foreman certificate holder, then the conditions are: the number of excavators should not be more than 2, the number of mines should not be more than 1. This is both for second class as well as for degree, diploma and foreman holder. Average employment in all. For a degree holder, it shall not be more than 75. For a diploma holder, it shall not be more than 50. And for a foreman certificate holder, it shall not be more than 75. Amount of explosive used in a day, as it is 500 kg in case of second class. In case of degree holder, it should not be more than 100 kg a day. For a diploma holder, not more than 50 kg a day. And for a foreman certificate holder, not more than 100 kg a day. As far as minimum experience is concerned, so for second class certificate holder there is no criteria for experience, but for a degree holder the minimum experience should be 6 months, and for a diploma holder the minimum experience should be 2 years. For foreman certificate holder there is no criteria, and this authorization to act as manager shall be valid for a period not exceeding 12 months. So since these instructions were also issued by DGMS, so we can expect a question based on this, and we should be able to answer it. Then about the holder of second class manager's certificate, as we have seen it in the chart, it was a simplified version of the conditions given here. So very quickly we will go through this. Holder of second class manager certificate: drilling diameter not more than 100 mm and not more than 2 excavators with tippers. Defole blasting under personal supervision of manager. Control blasting not required if no structures in danger zone. Then not permitted to manage more than one mine, yes. Adequate number of qualified foremen and mate are appointed in each working shift, and no ore dressing handling processing plant is there in the mine. Average employment does not exceed 100 in all in the mine, and total amount of explosives used in a day not to exceed 500 kg. For a degree holder, the conditions which we have seen in the chart, they can be elaborated as follows: at least 6 months practical experience, aggregate HP not to exceed 500 including not more than 2 excavators with total HP not exceeding 200. No defole blasting is carried out, not permitted to manage more than one mine, that's there. Adequate number of supervisors in each working shift, here it is each working shift adequate supervisor. No ore dressing handling processing plant. Average employment does not exceed 75 in all in the mine, and total amount amount of explosives used in a day not to exceed 100 kg. Now, for a diploma holder, the conditions are at least 2 years practical experience, aggregate HP not to exceed 500, including not more than 2 excavators, with total HP not exceeding 200, no dipole blasting, not permitted to manage more than one mine, adequate number of supervisors in each working shift, no ore dressing, handling, processing plant, average employment does not exceed 50 in all in the mine, total amount of explosives used in a day not to exceed 50 kg. Then for a foreman certificate holder, aggregate HP not to exceed 500, including not more than 2 excavators with total HP not exceeding 200, no deep hole blasting, not permitted to manage more than one mine, adequate number of supervisors in each working shift, no ore dressing, handling, processing plant attached, average employment does not exceed 75 in all in the mine, total amount of explosives used in a day not to exceed 100 kg. So this is a relaxation as per the technical instructions 02 of 2011. Regulation 35. It deals with the appointment of assistant managers. We have already seen in the appointment of managers, qualification and appointment of managers, that whenever the average employment in any mine exceeds 400, then we need to appoint a first class mines manager, first class certificate holder mine manager. Now, if the overall employment in a mine, average employment in totality, if it is up to 1200, means from 400 to 1200, the first class manager can himself handle the mine. But the moment the total employment in a mine exceeds 1200, so from 1200 to 1600, he will be assisted by at least one assistant manager. And in excess of 1600 average employment in all in the mine, the manager will be assisted by one assistant manager at a scale of 1 for every 800 persons or part thereof. So this is the provision as per the regulation 35 of the MMR 1961. Now this only we will be considering for this examination. We will not be considering any new assistant manager, scale of assistant manager and all that, because this examination will be conducted on the basis of MMR 1961 only. Now regulation 37, this is also one of the very important, because once you become a manager, you need to know how many assistant managers are required as per the statute, how many foremen are required as per the statute, etc. So the examiner has every right to put a question on this. So regulation 37 is regarding appointment and qualification of senior officers. So senior officials means mostly they are dealing with the foremen. So what it reads, at every mine, one or more foremen shall be appointed to hold charge of different district on each working shift. Done. Every person employed as an official subordinate to the manager or to an assistant manager and superior to the mine shall hold either a manager, that's fine. Either he will be a manager certificate holder or foreman certificate holder. Now, as regards size of foreman's district, now a circular was issued by DGMS wherein they had mentioned about the size of a foreman's district. Now, there are two categories. One is manually worked open cast mines and another is means manually worked or semi-mechanized open cast mines and mechanized open cast mines. Now this way means they have categorized as a semi-mechanized and fully mechanized. Now for manually worked and or semi-mechanized open cast mines, they say a foreman district shall comprise of 2 or more mate districts, means there can be 2 or even more number of mates under him, but maximum of 4 mates within a radius of 1 kilometer in hilly terrain. Means if the mine wherein it is the workings of the mines are, if they are situated in a hilly terrain, so we know that the foreman will require more time to reach to different working places. So from that point of view, the foreman's district shall comprise of a radius of 1 kilometer in hilly terrain and 2 kilometer in flat country. Means if it is a plain terrain, so in a plain terrain the foreman district shall comprise of a radius of 2 kilometers and more than 2 or more mate districts, but not more than 4. Then one more condition is that provided that not more than 75 persons work under the charge of one mate and total length of the working faces in one or different benches in vertical plane shall not exceed 300 meter in a mate's district, when it is in hilly terrain, or 500 meters in flat country, as the case may be. So we see here that for the number of mates to be under a foreman, again they have mentioned a condition that under a mate the number of persons, maximum number of persons, shall not exceed 75, and the total length of the working phases, this is direct relation with the time that person will require to reach the working phase in case of emergency and all that. So vertical plane, in case of vertical plane, shall not exceed 300 meters in mid distance when it is in hilly terrain, and 500 meters in flat country, as the case may be. As regards fully mechanized open cast mines, it is very simple. A foreman's district shall comprise of mechanized working in which not more than 2 power shovels are operating with ancillary equipment, with dumpers, loaders and drills, etc. So now one more thing we consider here is the regulation 39, and it reads about the appointment of officials and competent person. Now there is a provision regarding the appointment of competent persons also. So what it reads, the owner, agent or manager shall appoint such a number of competent persons, including officials and technicians, as is sufficient to secure during each of the working shift. What is to be secured? Adequate inspection of the mine and the equipment thereof, a thorough supervision of all operations in the mine, the installation, running and maintenance in safe working order of all machinery in the mine, and the enforcement, naturally enforcement of the requirements of the Act and of these regulations and orders made thereunder. So as in the case of appointment of foreman or assistant manager, they have given some criteria. Such criteria is not there in case of subordinate officials and competent person, which are required for the smooth operation and safe operation of machinery. So adequate number should be there. That is what they have mentioned about it. Now again there is one provision in regulation 39, worked in more than, whenever any mine is being worked in more than one shift, the mine shall be under the general supervision of an under manager or assistant manager, if any, and of an experienced mine foreman in other cases. So this is also one of the provisions under regulation 39, and it shall be the, this is most important, whenever competent persons are being authorized by the manager, it shall be the responsibility of the manager to see that the persons so appointed are competent to perform the duties assigned to them. And one more important thing is, no person shall be so appointed unless he is paid by the owner or agent and is answerable to the manager. Now we may think that why this provision has been given and what could be its impact on the day-to-day working, but there are situations. Now you see, again at times contractual work or outsourcing work is being done. So in that case the contractor may purchase machines, heavy machines from any equipment supplier, manufacturer, and there could be an agreement that for 1 year, 2 year or 3 years the entire maintenance, repair, etc. will be done by the original equipment manufacturer. In that case, at the mine, the original equipment manufacturer, he posts his men. For example, if you have purchased a dumper from XYZ company and there is an agreement that for 2 years the entire maintenance and repair work will be the responsibility of the original equipment manufacturer. In that case, if he posts, say, an engineer or a mechanic or a supervisor at your mine, that mechanic or that supervisor or that engineer, he will be checking, he will be examining the brakes of the machinery and all other things. But unless that person, as per the provisions of the regulation 39, unless that person is being paid by the owner, agent, manager, and otherwise, and he is answerable, and he is answerable to the manager, so it won't be possible. Unless he is paid by the owner or agent and is answerable to the manager, it won't be possible to obtain signature of that person on whatever brakes and other things he has tested or examined. So this situation arises. Then copies of appointments and a list of all competent person is to be maintained in a register. And again, whenever a manager changes and he takes over charge, so it is his duty to satisfy himself that all persons who are already appointed are competent to perform the duties given to them. Either he shall issue fresh authorization, or he shall put his signature as endorsement. Now, appointment and duties of safety officer in Metalliferous Mines. Actually, there is no statutory provision for appointment of safety officer in a Metalliferous Mines, although it has been advised by the safety conferences and all that, but there need not be a separate safety officer. One of the assistant managers or underground managers may carry out the duties of safety officers. And you know, basically what are the duties of safety officer? He has to visit the mine, talk to workmen on matters of safety and invite suggestions, because in safety we try to involve all the persons, and whenever we involve the frontline persons and all the persons working in the mine, then only we can expect a good result from our initiative. And then whenever new recruits are there, so the safety officer shall take charge of them, and in the beginning itself he will show them what are the safe practices, what are the unsafe practices. Then another duty of safety officer is to investigate into accidents, incidents, and detailed statistics is to be maintained, and analysis of the accidents, whatever accidents have taken place, that is also the duty of the safety officer. Then he has to suggest remedial measures and predict potential areas. There could be a question in MCQs, which of the following is not the duty of a safety officer? So that's why I am trying to elaborate all these duties and responsibilities of a safety officer, although it is not a statutory post. Study and apprise manager about all possible sources of danger, such as inundation, fire, gas, etc. Hold safety classes, safety talks and lectures to the supervisory staff. Then organize safety weeks and other safety education propaganda. Provide assistance in the formation of programs for training. Report to the manager as to whether the provisions of Act are being complied with or not. Promote safe practices and assist the manager in other matters relating to the safety of the mine. So these are the duties and responsibilities of a safety officer, and one of the assistant managers can be authorized to act as a safety officer in a Metalliferous mine. Regulation 40 is regarding the general management. The owner, agent and manager shall provide for the safety and proper discipline of persons, all the persons employed in the mine. Yes, that is his duty, except in case of emergency. This is very, very important to be noted. Except in case of emergency, no person who is not an official or a competent person shall give otherwise than through the manager instructions to a person employed in a mine who is responsible to the manager. So either manager will give any instructions, or an official will give any instructions, or a competent person shall give any instruction. Now this provision also assumes importance. At times, in case of a private mine, in that case it is quite likely that at times the owner or the son of the owner may come to the mine, and he may instruct about the production or anything like that, taking the liberty of his being a relative of the owner. But since if he is not an official, if he is not a competent person, so he shall not give any instructions to any person unless it is an emergency. So that this is to be kept in mind. And the persons who are employed in the mine, they are also supposed to take the orders of his superior officials only, not otherwise. Then another thing is about the duties of persons employed in mine. Very simple. Everybody has to strictly adhere to the provisions of the Act, regulations, rules, orders, directions by the manager or an official. Which directions, which orders? Which are with a view to safety or convenience of persons, and nor shall he neglect or refuse to obey such order. That is there. Another thing is, no person shall impede or obstruct any other person in the discharge of his duties and preventing him from complying with the provisions. If he is not wearing helmet, he should not coax the co-worker that why you are wearing helmet, don't wear, it is not needed here, nothing is going to fall, etc. So that is not proper. Then or otherwise he shall not persuade any or give any temptation that he should not perform his work satisfactorily or safely. Then another important thing, very very important, before proceeding to work, it is the duty of the person employed in a mine. We know who are the person employed in a mine. We have seen by definition. So immediately before proceeding to work and immediately after terminating work, at the end of his shift, have his name recorded in the attendance register. Now, as far as below ground mines is concerned, let us not look into it. And now there is one regulation 182A, because in the regulation it is still written, shall not go below ground unless he wears an approved type hat. So here we need to note one regulation 182A. It requires that no person shall go into or work in or be allowed to go into or work in a mine other than the precincts of a mine occupied by an office building, canteen, creche, rest shelter, first aid room, or any other building of similar type, unless he wears an approved type helmet. What does this mean? Because at times at the mines we come across a situation wherein, because we have conducted safety audit and risk assessment of some of the mines very recently, whenever we used to inspect and we used to insist on the dumper operators that you need to wear helmet, they used to say, why helmet is required, sir? I am in a cabin and it is a strong cabin and all that. But if you read carefully regulation 182A, the exemption to not to wear a hat or exemption from wearing a helmet is for office building, canteen, creche, rest shelter, first aid room, or any other building of a similar type. So this is to be kept in mind. And another most important thing is, whenever there is some danger, the supervisory official, the foreman or the mining mate, he is supposed to put a fence so that no person inadvertently enters there. So duty of person employed in a mine is, he shall not, except with the authority of an official, remove or pass through any fence, barrier or gate, or remove or pass any danger signal. And another most important, no person shall sleep whilst on duty. Regulation 44 is regarding duties and responsibilities of managers. Since we are appearing in the examination for the manager certificate of competency, so we are supposed to very thoroughly understand the duties and responsibilities of manager. They are very simple. Daily personal supervision shall be exercised by the manager, shall maintain diary and record findings of each of his inspection, and also action taken to rectify defects. And now this manager has to make arrangement for all mine foremen and other officials concerned to meet him or the assistant manager. If he is assisted by one of the assistant managers, then assistant manager can also hold a meeting of the foreman or the underground manager once in every working day for the purpose of conferring on matters connected with their duties. Then shall see that sufficient supply of material, appliances, and if he is not the owner or agent, in many cases owner and agent is different, then he shall report in writing to the owner or agent when anything is required for the aforesaid purpose, and that is not within the scope of his authority or to order. So that is also his duty. And a copy of every such report shall be recorded in a bound page book kept for the purpose. Whenever some material is requisitioned to the owner or agent, the manager is supposed to keep a record of that. Then the manager shall assign to every official. This is very very important. You see, the manager means in a mine, no working place shall be worked if there is no supervisor to look after that. Many a times we have come across a situation when the managers at the mine, they said that we have a shortage of foremen, and that we have already informed to the DGMS that we are in the process of appointment. Well, very fine. But even if you are having a shortage of foremen, then you have to authorize some foreman to additionally look after that area also. No area should be worked unless there is a mining mate at least, or a foreman in any place in the mine. So this is most important. So the manager shall assign to every official competent person his particular duties, defining his sphere of responsibility. So what will be his responsibility, what will be his jurisdiction, and shall on his appointment make over to him a copy of the regulations, means relevant to his duties, rules, bylaws, or any orders which affect him, and shall take all possible steps to ensure that such person understands, carries out, and enforces the provisions therein contained in proper manner. And another important thing is, the manager shall examine all reports, registers, and other records, and shall countersign the same and date his signature. And at big mines, he may, however, by an order in writing, delegate this duty to an assistant manager or underground manager. That provision is also there. Then one more responsibility of the manager is, he shall give attention to specific representation or complaint affecting the safety or health of the person in or about the mine. And when any accident resulting in serious bodily injury to any person or in loss of life occurs in a mine, the manager shall inspect the site of accident as soon as possible, and shall also either himself or through an assistant manager or underground manager have an inquiry made into the cause of and circumstances attending the accident. One more thing which the manager need to keep in mind is, if there occurs any accident either involving loss of life or serious bodily injury, so without fail the manager should intimate the workman's inspector of that mine, and he should ensure that when he reaches the spot, so the workman inspector should also reach the spot. So that at times it slips from our end because of the situation, it is a very emergent situation and all that. And then about the inquiry of the accident, either he himself shall carry out the investigation, or through some assistant manager he can get it done. Then the result of every such inquiry and plan of the site of accident showing details shall be recorded in a bound page book. Then assistant manager's duties, this is also given in regulation 45, very simple. Shall see that all work is carried out in accordance with Act, regulation, that is common. Visit and examine workings or parts every working day. Examine every travelable part. In the absence of manager, same responsibility as the manager. These are the some of the important duties and responsibilities of manager and assistant manager, which we need to keep in mind. Then plans and sections. This is also one of the very important topics from examination point of view. We know that under the regulation 60, general requirement about plans and sections are given, and this can definitely form a question. Now, what should a plan and section must show is name of the mine, yes, name of the owner, and purpose for which the plan is prepared. So we know that what plan is there, whether it is a surface plan, whether it is a water danger plan, or whatever it is, or is geological plan, we need to write over there, and it should show true north, magnetic meridian, and the date of the latter. Then show a scale of the plan at least 25 centimeters long and suitably subdivided. So we know that now you see many changes are taking place, and under the new regulations which are already effective for the CMR, there is a provision for maintaining the plans and sections in any other form, that is electronic form and all that. But in the MMR, that thing is yet to be effected. For that we need to obtain exemption and all that. Another important thing which we must remember about the plans and sections is the scale of the plans and section. It is clearly written in the regulation that unless otherwise provided, be on a scale having a representative factor of 200:1 in case of mica mines and other mines having small scale workings below ground. So small scale workings below ground है तो 200:1 है. In case of mines having large open cast working, and also in case of surface plans of large leasehold area, 2000:1. And in other cases 1000:1. So what we find here is there are only three representative factors given here. One is 200:1, another is 2000:1, and third one is 1000:1. So whatever plans we are maintaining in our mines, they cannot be in deviation of these scales, and if at all they are there, then you need to obtain special permission from the chief inspector. Be properly inked in on durable paper or on tracing cloth, एंड बी केप्ट इन गुड कंडीशन, फ्लैट स्टोरेज एट्सेट्रा रहना चाहिए ताकि अच्छी तरह मेंटेन्ड हो. एंड पॉलिस्टर ट्रेसिंग फिल्म, जस्ट इट इज़ फॉर इंफॉर्मेशन, 125 माइक्रॉन. Conventions shown in second schedule shall be used in preparing all plans and sections required by the regulation. At the end of this lecture, we shall definitely look into some of the conventions shown in the second schedule, because at times we can expect a question on that also. The plans and sections shall be accurate within such limits of error. You know that DGMS has already wide a circular. They have given the what are the limits of error. We shall look into those limits of error. These limits of error, then the plans and sections required under this shall be maintained up to date within 3 months, except in case of open cast work. So in case of our open cast working, they are to be brought up to date within 12 months, and plans and sections shall be brought up to date before any abandonment or discontinuance. Yes, and plans and sections shall be kept available for inspections. Very fine. Then one more thing is related to the linking of national grid. We know that all the mines are now supposed to be linked to the national grid. Now all the reference stations at surface and the reference points of underground surveys shall be shown in their correct position related to the Survey of India national grid within the limits of error of survey and plotting. So this has been mentioned by DGMS wide a circular. So what are these limits? These limits of error, summary of limits of error you will find in the DGMS circular. It is given as, if the plan of the scale is 1:2000 or representative factor is 2000:1, then the limit of error is 50 centimeter. Plans on 1:1000 scale 25 centimeter, 1:200 scale 5 centimeter. We know that there are only 3 types of scales permitted, so that's why the errors are also only 3 types: 1:200 5 centimeter, which is for small mines; 1:1000, in other cases 25 centimeter, for large open cast mines or leasehold area 50 centimeter. Then for triangulation also there is a limit of error permitted. Position of stations and triangulation as determined from initial and verification basis 1/5000th of linear horizontal distance of local point from the point of origin. So we can definitely expect a multiple choice question as far as these limits of error are there. Then total angular error, there is a formula 30 plus x root n. They may give you the formula and they may ask you which is the correct formula, where x is the least count of the instrument and n is the number of observations. Error of closure 1/3000th of horizontal length of the traverse. So we must remember this. And important surveys and levelings that should be personally carried out by a qualified surveyor himself. So there is one circular. In that circular, the DGMS has pointed out that some important surveys and leveling should be personally carried out by a qualified surveyor. Now those are as far as surface surveys are concerned, establishment of triangulation baselines, so they must be done carried out by the surveyor himself. Then check surveys for reference point. This can become a question, which are the surveys that are to be personally carried out by a qualified surveyor. So check surveys for reference points, then check surveys for barriers against waterlogged workings, etc. And joint surveys if there is a adjacent mine, and so in that case joint survey may be required to be done. Then leveling and all those things, so these are there. Types of plans and section, it is given in regulation 61. Surface plan is to be maintained in every mine. So what should the surface plan show? Which of the following things may not be shown on a surface plan? There could be a question like that. So surface plan showing settled boundary of the mine, or if there is a dispute, then the boundary is claimed by this thing. So adjacent mine वाले ने जो claim की है उसको हमको पकड़नी पड़ेगी. And where it is not possible to show the complete boundary and additional key plan, ये भी एक इसमें question आ सकता है कि अगर it is not possible to show the complete boundary of the leasehold because leasehold is big, so what is the way out? So an additional key plan on any other suitable scale may also be maintained, shall also be maintained. Then what else on a surface plan is to be shown? Every surface feature within the boundaries, telephone, telegraph and power transmission lines, tram line, railway, road, water main, river, water reservoir tank, boreholes, shaft, incline, all open cast workings, whether working or abandoned, that is to be shown. Subsidence is to be shown, and buildings on the surface, those are also to be shown. The surface plan is very important in a mine, and a transverse section or sections of this strata sunk or driven through in the mine or proved by boring as may be available. So that is also very important, that is to be maintained. A vertical mine section showing a vertical projection of the mine workings where a reef, vein, lode or mineral bed or deposit has an average depth of more than 30 degrees. So this can also become a question in our multiple choice. So a vertical mine section is to be maintained where a reef, vein, lode or mineral bed or deposit has an average depth of more than 30 degrees from the horizontal. Then most important plan which we are required to maintain is the water danger plan. Now this water danger plan, it is equally of importance for an open cast mine also, because open cast mines also there is a threat of inundation. So the position of every dike, fault, other geological disturbances are to be shown. Why? Because these dikes and faults, they are the weak planes where from the water may enter the mine. So if there is a lot of water at the adjoining area or the whatever the water course is there, so this becomes the weak plane. So that's why you need to show the position of every dike, fault and geological disturbance, and you need to be extra careful. आपको ऐसे जहाँ पर भी सिचुएशन आती है वहाँ पर अधिक केयरफुल रहना होगा ताकि वहाँ से पानी घुस न पाए. एवरी सोर्स ऑफ वाटर, वाटर डेंजर प्लान में आपको हर पानी का स्रोत दिखाना है, चाहे रिवर हो, स्ट्रीम हो, वाटर कोर्स हो, रिजर्वायर हो, वाटर लॉक्ड ओपन कास्ट वर्किंग्स हो, वो भी दिखानी है. एवरी रिजर्वायर, डैम और अदर स्ट्रक्चर आइदर अबव ग्राउंड और बिलो ग्राउंड कंस्ट्रक्टेड टू विस्टैंड ए प्रेशर ऑफ वाटर और टू कंट्रोल inrush of water along with reference to its design and other details of construction is also to be shown on a water danger plan. Surface contour lines drawn at vertical intervals not exceeding 5 meters or 10 meters in the case of mine where there are no workings below ground, or the whole area lying within 200 meters of any part of the workings and the highest flood level of the area. This must be shown on the water danger plan. Another plan which is to be maintained is the geological plan of the area of the leasehold on a scale specified or approved by chief inspector or any other scale on which statutory plan showing workings of the mine is prepared. So this is regarding the geological plan. Then other plans that are maintained in the mines is one plan is joint survey plan if common boundary has been shared. Then there is one more plan that is to be prepared is the accident plan, where accident resulting in loss of life or serious bodily injury occurs in the mine. Now what is to be shown on an accident plan? Name of the district, place, date and time of accident, position of the deceased, injured persons, other relevant details required to illustrate the accident and cause of the accident only briefly. Then electrical plan. This is to be prepared under the CEAR 2010. Now what it is supposed to show? This electrical plan should show. We should remember this also, because this can also become a question. The position of all fixed apparatus. Of course, fixed apparatus means fixed electrical apparatus and the conductors therein, other than light, telecommunication or signaling apparatus or cables for the same. The following in addition should be shown on the electrical plan, which is very important. Run of the main cables with their copper cross section and rated capacity of the fuses and overload circuit breakers, and number, kind and power of motors together with the total power of lamps and other current consuming apparatus per group. Basically why we need to maintain electrical plan is, since we are going to deploy digging machines in our mine, so there should be a clear cut indication, and wherever underground cables are passing through, on the above ground we have to erect posts, खड़े खड़े उसमें indicators और staff खड़े करने पड़ते हैं, which will show the entire path of the conductor, so that in case of any inadvertently the digging machine may not be deployed by anyone, in that place, because and it may result in an accident. So that is why run of the main cables is important, and with their copper cross section means it will decide what will be the current carrying capacity of that cable. For that purpose cross section is very important, and rated capacity of fuses, etc.